I request the dignitaries and guests of honor to inaugurate this ceremony by lighting the auspicious lamp.
गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि
एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि.
Parakram hi dharm hai. The Indian Army slogans are not just words. They are powerful expressions that encapsulate the ethos of one of the world's most formidable military forces. Each slogan reflects the commitment, bravery, and sacrifice of the soldiers who stand guard to protect the nation. As we recite these slogans, let us remember and honor the spirit of the Indian Army, a beacon of strength and pride for the entire nation. Today, we gather to honor and remember an extraordinary moment in the history of our nation, to commemorate the triumph in the 1971 Indo-Pak War, celebrated as Vijay Diwas, a tribute to the valor of Indian armed forces. On this historic day, the valor and sacrifice of our armed forces led to the liberation of Bangladesh and the largest military surrender since World War II. Vijay Diwas is a powerful reminder of the indomitable spirit and dedication of our soldiers who upheld the ideals of freedom, justice, and humanity. As we commemorate this significant day, it is an opportunity to reflect on the bravery, strategic brilliance, and leadership that shaped this historic victory. Through this session, we aim to honor the sacrifices of our armed forces and deepen our understanding of the values they upheld. Let us come together to pay tribute to the proud chapter of our nation's history. I, Shivika Brahpuria, Student Manager at Balaji Institute of Technology and Management, Sri Balaji University, Pune, is privileged and honored to be the Master of Ceremony. It is an honor to welcome Lieutenant General Shamsher Singh Mehta, PVSM, AVSM, and BAR, VSM, retired, a distinguished leader and veteran of the Indian Army, to today's event. I would like to extend our greetings to our Chancellor, Sri Balaji University, Pune, Professor Paramanandan Balasubramanian Sir, Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. G.K. Shirude Sir, Dean, Directors, Deputy Directors, Research Heads, faculty members, and to all our student managers. On this gracious occasion, we fondly remember our founder, late Professor Dr. Colonel A. Balasubramanian Sir, for his vision to impart quality education to the youths of our country. I would now like to invite our esteemed Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. G.K. Shirude Sir, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning to one and all. Namaste. Suprabhatam. Very nice. I am very pleased. With the great divine memories and blessings of our founder chancellor, founder president of Sri Balaji Society and Sri Balaji University, Pune, fondly known as Bala sir. A very young, dynamic and visionary chancellor, Professor Paramanandan, again we called with very high respect and deep love to Paramanandan as Anand sir. The guest of honor, a distinguished personality, Lieutenant General Shamsher Singh Mehta. He has accepted our invitation with a zeal, with a enthusiasm, and very proud to visit at Sri Balaji University, Pune. Sir, we very warm welcome in this lush green campus of Sri Balaji University, Pune. All my deans, directors, principals, vice principals, and all the persons who belong to the defense background, those who are sitting in front of me, a very warm welcome at this historical, memorable day known as Vijay Diwas, which we are supposed to celebrate on 16th, but because of availability and convenience, 2 days before we are celebrating it. Now, it gives me immense pride, pleasure, and to privilege to welcome Lieutenant General Shamsher Singh Mehta, a war veteran of the Indian-Pakistan War of 1971, to celebrate Victory Day, a day which is called as Vijay Diwas also. Vijay Diwas is a day of great pride and honor for India. This day commemorates the country's victory over Pakistan in 1971 war, which led to creation of Bangladesh from East Pakistan. Today, Bangladesh is an independent nation. Indian Armed Forces played a pivotal role in one of the most decisive victories in modern history. Over 93,000 Pakistani troops surrendered to Indian Army, making it one of the largest military surrenders since World War II. Vijay Diwas inspires us to uphold the principles of justice, unity, and humanity in our lives. It teaches us the importance of courage, strength of unity, patriotism, and resilience. Indian Armed Forces, who always and all times continue to protect our nation with unwavering dedication, Their sacrifice and bravery are the foundations of the freedom and security which we enjoy today. War is certainly a very costly in nature as far as the stability and growth of the nation is concerned. But the cost which nation has paid is not at all measurable in terms of the death and severe injuries took place to our brave soldiers. Friends, historical real incidences further become the real stories based on facts and figures. It became learning, guiding, motivating, and inspiring lessons to those who are in the concerned field. But at the same time, it is unforgettable brave memories to the society of the nation and particularly in respect of the citizens of the nation. Today, we all are here to celebrate the Vijay Diwas for honoring sustained and deliberate teamwork, courage and sacrifice of Indian armed forces, particularly to commemorate the triumph of 1971 war. Finally, gratitude to our heroes who made history on this day. Having said this, I also appreciate the team of the School of Balaji, particularly the Defense and Strategic Studies, particularly Major General Ajay Shetty, Dr. Mansi Kapoor and Raj Kiran, for organizing celebration of this Vijay Diwas in collaboration with a very dynamic and energetic team of BITM. Sir, once again, a very warm welcome to you. And my request to all of my young Indians, please stand up. Stand up in a southern position. Now we are very proud and appreciate. Jai Ho! Jai Ho! Jai Ho! Jai Jai Ho! Vijay Bhava! Indian Armed Forces. Salute to all of them. Thank you very much. Sit down, please.
Now I would like to invite our Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. G.K. Shirade sir, to welcome the guest with a bouquet. Now, I would like to invite Major General Ajay Sethi, SM, VSM, retired, to deliver the introduction of our esteemed guest.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor and privilege to introduce Lieutenant General Shamsher Singh Mehta, Param Vishesh Seva Medal, Ati Vishesh Seva Medal and Bar, Vishesh Seva Medal, whose courage, sacrifice and dedication have made a profound impact on our nation both while he was in service as well as even after that, as you realize when I speak about it. Talking of the army career first, General Mehta was commissioned into the army in 1962 in 63 Cavalry. During his 41 years of service, he has held many important, significant appointments, and I'll name only the ones that when he became a general officer. The Additional Director General of Military Operations, the Deputy Chief of Army Staff, and he's held the important appointment of Army Commander twice. Army Commander of the Army Training Command called RTRAC, and during Op Parakram, he was the Army Commander of the Western Command. There are many other things that he's done, but being short of time, I'll not tell them all. His service to the nation did not stop till he was in uniform. Even after that, he continued in the civil realm. He was a faculty member at the Institute of Public Policy on National Security. He was a principal advisor to the Confederation of Indian Industry from 2004 and Director General there only from 2006 to 2008. He was a member of the National Security Advisory Board, the NSAB, from 2004 to 2006. He was a service member of the National Task Force on IT, Information Technology, and a member of the Group of Ministers Task Force on Review of Defense Management. He was on the board of the Indian Trustee of World Affairs, and even now he is a trustee of the Tribune Trust. Now I'll come to the proper subject, the 71 war. Those of you would have heard me in August when I came to deliver a lecture on motivation and leadership, would have realized the background to this war. On the midnight of 14/15/1947, two nations were born. One, that is, our nation was lucky, where the democracy took its roots. But fast forward to 70, Pakistan was not so lucky. The military rule there came in 1956, and straight away after that in 1970, the general elections were held. Lo and behold, in the general elections, Awami League, which was in the then East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, got the majority. Not digestible to the power centers of the West Pakistan, including their military, which was in rule, as I just said. It followed Operation Genocide to such extent, that is in 1970, that India had no option but to intervene militarily. That was in 71. But talking of the military operations in particular, it is unique in many respects. The most significant being it is one of the only operations where a nation has divided the enemy into two parts. And the speed, the decisiveness that it was done, you're all aware of the Ukraine-Russia war carrying on for years. Even Israel, which is a big nation, technologically developed, cannot finish its operation in a small, tiny piece of land for such long. And more importantly, it is not that we were occupiers after that. We won the war and we came back. So it was a just war. I spoke about the battle in the west, Basantar, as well on the east. So if you remember on the east, I said that for our military operations to succeed, we had to cross a river called Meghna, River Meghna in Bangladesh. And just when we were going to cross, the only bridge on that was blown off. A daring, uncharacteristic, a very creative operation by General Sagat that time ensured that the troops were heli-lifted and made to cross the Meghna River. But you will all agree with me, that's infantry. When it comes to armored, and when I say armored, it is the tanks. When you come to the armored, the tanks cannot fly across the river, you'll all agree. But the tanks did reach Dhaka. They did reach that impossible task then. The only squadron that to reach in Dhaka was made possible by Major S.S. Mehta, the same gentleman who's sitting here. What you see in the viewfoil is the actual photo. Can you all take a guess where is the then young Major Shamsher Singh Mehta, now Lieutenant General Shamsher Singh Mehta was there? Well, that and the balance, I'll leave it to General Mehta. Sir, may I request you to please come on the stage and share your experiences as young people.
The Vice Chancellor, members of the faculty, ladies and gentlemen. It's my proud privilege to be here standing in front of you for three reasons. First, when I was invited, I was told we are coming to a university whose founder I knew, the gentleman you see whom we paid homage to, was the founder whom I knew and met. I had no hesitation to saying I will come. Second, we are celebrating Vijay Diwas, about which I will give you a brief conversation. General Setty has already told you enough. But the third and the most important thing as to why I am here, because I am talking to a generation of children who are better than my generation. I want the faculty to please stand up and join me in telling everybody by standing up saying, this generation is better than mine. Faculty, please join. Please sit down. It is not important to make a statement. It is more important to qualify it. I will tell you now why you are better than us. And therefore, the little talk that I do thereafter, please put it in perspective. How many of you play hockey or football? Raise your hand. Do you know what it looks like, a ground, football ground? All right. Any game of football or hockey has 11 players on both sides. And both have goalkeepers. My generation was a goalkeeper generation of my team. I represent the goalkeeper as my generation. And your generation is different, and I'll come to that a little later. What do I mean by goalkeeper? By goalkeeper, I meant that my generation was very happy to draw a match, very happy not to lose a match, and very happy not to allow the enemy to score. And if it was a goalkeeper, I thought they were going to score, I would call back my forward, centre forward, ki goal mat hone do. We were very good at doing that, but that gave us one value which you must begin to understand when I talk about you. The great thing about goalkeepers was that they were very good at bonding. They understood bonding. When I was growing up, if anybody wanted to change a job and the word spread within the family, everybody would get around and say, नौकरी मत छोड़ो, security है, पैसा नहीं आएगा तो क्या करोगे? And slowly and steadily, our generation was made to change their mind. And they stood where they were. So we were status quo, risk averse, but very well bonded. Now let me come to you. All of you are centre forwards. At least clap yourself for that. But there is a problem with the centre forward. Everybody wants to score a goal. And if somebody doesn't give you a pass, you don't respect him. मुझे pass नहीं दिया, मैंने goal नहीं किया. Now I'll put you through a tutorial. All of you, please spell illness. All of you. ILLNESS. Spell wellness. What is the difference? When I becomes we, the ill become well. Learn to be team players. Learn to be not isolated. Learn to be centre forwards who pass and score, who pass and score. Selflessness is going to be your greatest virtue because you are not goalkeepers. The whole world is scared of you, and I can tell you that from my age. And if you don't know my age, in 20 days' time, I'll be 81. If you look at whatever you do from this perspective, you will realize that goalkeepers will sometimes hold you back. Your teachers will hold you back, I will hold you back, because that is my culture. I was brought up like that. And you don't have to argue as to why I'm holding you back. You have to understand that what he's saying is bond and score. Yes or no? No, this answer is this. When I say yes or no, unless Pakistan hears it, there is no point asking you this question. Yes or no? Yes, not good enough. Yes or no? Yes, sir. Yeah. You have to bond and you have to score and you will do that. Let's come to 71 operations and I'll talk about it very briefly. In 1971, we were looking at our neighbor, then East Pakistan, and it was going through the horrors of rape, plunder by the Pakistan army to the extent it is unimaginable. I don't even want to relate to you what I saw with my own eyes because I will not be able to relate it. When such atrocities were happening in our neighborhood, our Prime Minister picked up the cudgel and we say, when there is rape in your neighborhood, you cannot stand still. You have to go to the rescue. That's when the Indian Army went in, and in the recorded history of the century, this is the only war that has been classified as a just war. Every other war had an unjust quotient of the battle. In this particular war, this is the only time in the 20th century where there's been a humanitarian intervention because the neighbor was being maltreated, raped, genocide, and pointedly people were being picked up and killed. That's why we went in. That's what we did. And how the war started and how it ended, I don't want to go into those details, but remember, there are 4 lessons that came out, which I think are more important. Firstly, I want all of you to read about this battle. Will you do it? Yes, sir. No. Will you do it? Yes, sir. Yeah. What you must remember about this battle is that it proved 4 things in history which are the strategic lessons of this battle. First, any one of you? What happened at the strategic level? Unfair question, so I'll answer it myself. It was a victory of democracy over military rule. Yes or no? Yes, sir. Second, it was a victory of humanism over barbarism. Yes or no? It was a victory of liberation over occupation. Yes or no? Yes, we did not go to occupy Bangladesh. 90 days after the capture, we came back. We had hundreds of problems with them. We did not settle any one of them because we went in for a humanitarian cause. Because India, your country, does not eye evilly any territory of any country beyond us. We don't have any evil intentions. But if the neighbor does what they were doing at that time, and you must read about it, there are scores and scores and scores of books, monographs, photographs, documentaries about the type of genocide that was going on. I don't want to relate that because that's not the purpose. That is why we went in, and these are 4 lessons of history. The other reason where you must remember is, which is at the military level. At the military level, the largest lesson that we learned was, it was a victory of maneuver over attrition. You don't win battles only by destroying the adversary, destroying his tanks, destroying his aircraft. But you win the battle by breaking his mind. You break his mind to the extent of he doesn't feel he's powerful enough to stop you. And therefore what happened? When we crossed the river Meghna, I was commanding 14 tanks. I had captured 3 Pakistani tanks before that, which I took them along. I thought let me show them what they have done with the Bangladesh army. When we took them along, when we were fighting on this day, 14th, at around this time, we were fighting in a river called the Lakhya River. When there was some sound of that they might surrender, 30,000 Pakistani entrenched soldiers in Dhaka surrendered to 3,000 of us. They were entrenched, we were moving. The normal ratio of the moving man to the entrenched man is 3:1 in the other way around. So if there were 30,000, we had to be 1 lakh strong to overcome them, but we did it with 3,000 because we attacked their mind. How did we attack their mind? They thought Meghna is a river, as I'm talking to you now, and I'm reminding myself as a 28-year-old looking at that river. At the place where I was crossing, it is 8 miles wide. If you're standing on this bank, you don't see the other bank. So I told my co-commander, I said, sir, I can't see. I can enter here, but where do I get off? He says, what do you want to do? I said, give me a helicopter. Let me do a recce. I took a helicopter. I did a reconnaissance of the river, and I realized that in the month of December, the river has a few islands which get created because the water is receding. So I took a helicopter, marked the islands on my map. One visit was not enough. I took a second. I asked him for a helicopter, he gave it to me. What I did was I made an entry, hit an island, collected, moved, hit another island, and I did island hopping till we reached the other side. And it took me 23 miles of travel to cross those 8 kilometers. And that's why we were across. And when the enemy mind realized the tanks have come across the river, infantry and helicopters has come across the river, we were sending leaflets from the top to say, surrender or you will die. The mind got impacted. 30,000 people who were ordered to defend surrendered. And that is the day why we celebrate Vijay Diwas. And each one of you should be able to state once every day and twice on Sundays to your children, when you have them, to your parents who may not have read about it, that in the 20th century, there has been no just battle which has been fought for a humanitarian cause than this one. Will you promise to narrate the story? That is your legacy. You have to carry it forward. And you have to carry it forward not as a goalkeeper, but as a centre forward. Yes or no? Yes. Yeah. And I want to see how many goals you score. That much for 71. If you have any questions, I'll answer them at that time. But let me talk about one or two other things today. It is important to share with you my growing up, and as I reflect back now, to see where you should be different because you're a centre forward. Please remember, you have to make the effort to incubate, innovate, or you will perish. Repeat. Incubate, innovate, or you will perish. One of you, what is 50 plus 40? 90. Any girl here? Anyone who can answer that mathematical question? 50 plus 40 is what? Anyone? 90. Anybody from there? 90. Please sit down. 50 plus 40, 90, even I know. But why am I asking you? Because you, less than me, are learning by rote. You're learning by rote, you're repeating. Suppose I tell you to tell me a table of 9, you will tell me a table of 9, but you will not be able to tell me the quality of the table of 9. Can anybody tell me the quality of the table of 9? Anyone? What is, yes? Excellent. Please sit down. And that is why, son, a Fauji in the army is called a Naujawan. When you multiply 9 with any number, the total has to be a 9. Under any circumstances, a Naujawan will behave like a Naujawan. Thank you for the answer. You deserve a prize. I don't know how to give it to you. But I'll do. Remember that. When you are saying 50 plus 40 is 90, of course that's an answer everybody knows. But the answer I want from you, because I want you to incubate, innovate, answer I want from you is 50 plus 40, sir, is less than 100. What do you mean by less than 100? It means you know 90, you know the value of 90, and you know the 100 is more than 90. Yes or no? That's the answer I want. Learning by rote will not help. Don't know. We are teaching you how to think. You must know what to think. You must be able to calculate, create for yourself. A type of arrogance which is respectful. Not because you question the teacher, but you want to know more. I don't want to know the normal thing. Today, if innovation becomes your creed, you're unstoppable. I was telling the faculty when I was having a cup of tea with them, what does innovation and creation help you do? Fortunately, you're born in a period where you can innovate. You can incubate. Reason is, this technology was not available when I was growing. If you were to ask me this question, even if you didn't ask me, I could tell you. Now that I see what is available to you, I tell myself, I wish I was born 50 years later. Because the opportunity that you have, I didn't have. The power of a mobile, mine is now left there, the power of a mobile is greater than the power that was required to put Armstrong on the moon on a single mobile. Yes or no? Yes. You have it in your hand. Today there's ChatGPT and there's Gemini. 31% of the world is transmitting, from Indians are transmitting on ChatGPT and making the world more powerful. Because your questions are creating machine learning from them, for which they will play back at you at a higher price. We were a colony. Are we still a colony? Perhaps. What is happening in Bangalore? You guys are working and creating something that goes back, gets aggregated and comes back to you at 10 times the price. Yes or no? Yeah, that's you. Empower yourself. Feel empowered, because you are that. Your genetic growth allows you to be curious, and curiosity killed a cat. And there is no better place for you to understand what I'm saying than where you're sitting now. Here is a man in front of you whom we revere as the founder of the formation. See his background. When I look at him and I look at what he did, I'm empowered to say that one man with courage makes a majority. Yes or no? That's the man. You are blessed to be able to, under that shadow, grow. And each one should be able to multiply his capability and not feel constrained about. We become cynical at no time. Please remember, we talk about invincible India. Isn't that a incredible India? Which is the tourism slogan? Which is it? Uncha bolo. Please remember, incredible India is invincible India when we are Team India. Yes or no? Yes. And now I go back to the soldier of the 71 war, and let me tell you the 3 attributes of a soldier that is one of us, your uncle, your nephew, your father, your grandfather, and one of you will become soldiers one day. There are 3 characteristics of the soldier which help us do what we did in 1971, before and after. First, a soldier signs up for an unlimited liability bond. I repeat, a soldier signs up for an unlimited liability bond. What does it mean? How many of you were born when Kargil was happening? None. Kargil is mountainous area, thousands of feet, 18,000, 17,000. Unlimited liability means that when I tell a soldier, Kargil, attack, he turns around and he attacks. Unlimited liability. When I'm ordering him, I know he may not come back. He knows he may not come back, but he goes. That is unlimited liability. Have you understood the first value? You're soldiers, you carry the legacy. Soldiers don't belong to any one family, they belong to all of us. He signs unlimited liability. Second, a soldier is taught that there is nothing called runners-up in battle. Either you win or you lose. You can't be like a Fortune 500 company. Today I'm 500, then I'm 400, then I'm 300, then I'm 20, then I'm in the top 10. That time is not available to a soldier. Runners-up is not acceptable. Either you win or you lose. Understood? Yeah. And lastly, unity in diversity. The soldier signs up to say caste, color, creed, sex, domicile does not matter. If I'm lying in a minefield, he doesn't see my blood, he just picks me up and takes me along. When I see somebody lying in a minefield, I pick him up and take him along. These 3 strengths make you the producer, and they all come from your families, my families. The strength of the services, the soldier, and each one of you is a soldier in many different ways. The strength of the soldier comes from understanding unity in diversity, runner-up position not acceptable, unlimited liability. So the notion in people's mind, whatever you do in a peace station, we prepare the man for unlimited liability. And it takes a long time to do that. That's the strength that created what created. It happened in 71, it happened in Kargil, it happened in 62. I've seen all the wars fought in 1962. I was commissioned in 1962. The Chinese War, the 65 War, the 71 War, Prakram, and then later on I was the army commander when we were deployed opposite Pakistan. That strength of your soldier is your legacy. Don't ever think of forgetting that. And don't allow the goalkeeper to hold you back. But to keep scoring all the time, learn patience, which you don't have, and learn perseverance, which you don't have. If you don't get an instant call on a mobile, you start cursing the other guy. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, yeah. Perseverance badhao. Patience badhao. Tolerance badhao. And each one of you will fight for Mother India. Whatever you do, it doesn't matter whether you're in the army, navy, or the next message I want to give to you on this occasion is, because you have the capability available in relation to what AI will give you, please put this in your mind, that the sequence you'll have to follow in whatever discipline you are is, predict, adapt, and then prevail. Whatever be your work you do, if you are not thinking ahead, if you are not thinking of the resources that are available to you, you will not be able to predict. If you will not be able to predict, you will not be able to forecast. That cannot have a vision which doesn't give you. Take what happened when we crossed the Meghna River. Everybody told us your boundary stops at the Meghna River. We could have gone back. But the choice to cross the Meghna River is created such a situation that 30,000 had to surrender to 3,000. So don't get satisfied with the edge that is given to you. Push yourself. You're capable of doing it. Indians are capable of doing it, and we've done it all over the world. A few other things that I want to tell you, and this is important. I normally don't speak from a script, but there is something I didn't want to miss, and I want you to repeat it after me. Five things, and I want you to remember them. From a buyer, we want to become a provider. Repeat. From a follower, we want to become a leader. From a subsystems manufacturer in Bangalore, we want to be an integrator. From a game player, we want to be a game changer. What happened 48 hours ago? What did Gukesh do? What did he do? He changed the game. Yes or no? So he's not here. Let us stand up and give him a hand in absentia. And last but not the least, and this you have to say very loudly, because I'm getting a little deaf, so I can only hear a loud noise. From the I, we have to become we. From your competition is not with the next guy. Your competition is with yourself. As much as you better yourself, the other chap will be left behind, because he's only thinking of you. Victory is always at your feet if you are challenging yourself. I cannot be good because somebody else is bad. I have to be good because I am good. Values, ethics, morals, legacy. But we have a problem. Our problem is that we have not been able to put time in perspective in relation to taking risks and status quo. Many of us remain comfortable with status quo. And now here is something which I want you to repeat after me. We are the only country in the world which has the same word for yesterday and tomorrow. वो भी कल था, वो भी कल है. Yes or no? So therefore goes a Hindi song, जो कल भी था, वो आज भी है, वो कल भी रहेगा. That means there will be no progress. Yes or no? Yes, you cannot be status quo, and therefore each one of you will take a vow by raising your right hand that you will not be an agent of continuity, but you will be an agent of change. Raise your right hand and say, you will be an agent of, you will not be an agent of, in whatever you do, including how you meet your girlfriend or boyfriend. Don't repeat the same thing again and again. She'll get fed up and he'll get fed up. And before I close, and I leave it to you, let me see whether there's anything that I thought I should tell you I may have missed. When I told you that we should be leading and not following, I want to give you an example of what you know. There was 1G, and then there was 2G, then there was 3G, and then there was 4G, and then there was 5G, and we don't talk to each other, and then there was Hanji. We are following. 5 years ago, it was my privilege to write off a paper to say India must lead in 6G. And I'm glad to tell you that India is now on the mission to lead 6G. Please remember, if you are not a leader, you are not asked to be on the high table. When you're a leader, you create patents, you're called on the high table to lay the specs of the world. For 6G, we will be on the high table to identify the specs for the world. And when AI and quantum computing get together with 6G as your communication hub, the world will be at your feet. You can't forget that. ठीक है वो चल रहा है. Don't allow status quo become your culture and habit. Change is necessary. You score a goal one way, you score it another way tomorrow. You see what Bumrah does. Every time he confuses or not. What's the score just now? Anybody? 28. Is it raining? Okay, all right. You have to do that. And therefore the last thing, and please remember, when you innovate, when you create your patents, and you get into the 6G world, just to give you an example, you will be on the high table. If you're not on the high table, where are you? Anyone? Ladies and gentlemen, please remember, if you're not on the high table, you'll be on the menu. We've been on the menu for too long, but others have come and bitten what we could offer to them. But we have to direct what is going to be the thing that is going to get served. Yes or no? Yeah. Is there anything left that I wanted to tell you? I can't remember. And finally, we talked of Gukesh, and we talked of chess. We talked of status quo. We talked about my being a generation of goalkeepers and your being a generation of centre forwards. Please remember, chess is a game which Indians have played historically. In chess, if you don't confront, you don't win. Yes or no? Yeah. So Gukesh only 2 days ago became a world champion by confronting. Don't allow status quo be your order of the day. ये lesson है, ये पढ़ाया है, ये copy करेंगे. And you got into the cut and paste habit, which is terrible. I don't say you, I mean the generation is getting into that. Be creative. Ask questions of creativity. Not because your faculty doesn't know. Everybody will come. Everybody will benefit from you. I stand here to talk to as many people sitting in this hall is to tell you that I, like many people here, have traveled the world. I've seen nearly every part of the world. I did 41 years in the army. I was an 18-year-old when I joined the army. 18 years, 9 months. That itself was the world record at that time. I am a product of a family where I lost my father when I was 10 years old. I'm a product of a family that my brother brought up. I had 5 brothers and a sister, and I was the eldest. I'm a product of a family. When the relative came at my father's death, they asked her, with whom would you like to stay? And my mother said, she was a widow at 35. She said, I will not like to stay with any one of you because my children will then come up as second-class citizens. I will stand on my own feet and I will bring them up. And I have to tell you with great pride, that in the 71 war that we are talking about, of the 5 brothers, 4 were in the army. Of the only brother-in-law I had, he was in the army. My 5th brother was selected to join the army, but he had to keep my mother occupied in not letting her know that war is on, so that he couldn't join. And the greatest lesson of my life came from 2 examples that I could see from my mother. We were once traveling in a train, and after my father's death, she would wear no jewelry. Sitting in a train, we were sitting in front. There was a married couple in front. And the lady asked her, "Balaji, आपने कोई गहने नहीं पहने?" My mother said, "बेटा आपने पहने हुए हैं, मेरे साथ बैठे हुए हैं." And the last shock that I got is a lesson again from my mother. We came back from battle, 4 of us. She was bellowing rotis and giving to each one of us one by one. And 4 of us, one of my brothers got injured in battle in Hilli, in Bangladesh. He got a shrapnel in his thigh. He fell down, was taken to the hospital. The doctor gave him a shrapnel and said, "This is your memory for your battle in 71. So 4 of us were talking. And that brother was saying, "I should have got a Veer Chakra." My mother just threw the rolling pin and came out. She says, "This is the first time in my life I'm ashamed of my sons." So we were shocked. I said, 4 been to battle, just come back. She said, "Which of you wants a?" She didn't use the word chakra. She said, "Which of you wants a Ghan Chakra?" So my injured brother, he raised his hand. He said, "All right, you got a Veer Chakra. But one of your brothers has not come back. Do you want it?" He says, "You idiots, 4 went to battle, 4 have come back, what else do you want?" Isn't that a lesson of life? That's a lesson of life. Values will take you everywhere. Lack of values will take you nowhere. Ethics will take you everywhere. Stand up on your feet. The next chap is not to be competed with. Compete with yourself. He will begin to compete with you, he or she. You have a great opportunity. I wanted to be 50 years younger today, born later, because then I would have played some games with you. But I know when I close my eyes, India is in safe hands. God bless you.
Thank you, sir, for your moving and insightful words. Your reflections on the sacrifices, valor, and dedication of our armed forces are a powerful reminder of the values we must uphold as citizens. If any of you have any questions,
Sorry, interrupting you. Somebody there had a question? Yep. Speak loud, we'll hear you, don't worry.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Sir, my question was, you talk about humanitarian in Indian Army that resulted in 1971 victory. Sir, so seeing the current scenario, the war which is going in Bangladesh right now, so why isn't it possible for Indian Army to help help the minorities in Bangladesh?
Very good question. Please sit down. Very good question. Please remember that the end of one war is always set the stage for a beginning of another one. Ever since Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel were fighting each other, conflict has not gone away from the world. What you're seeing now is a backlash of those people who felt marginalized at a time when those people who helped make the country independent were given a pride of place which the others were not. That's an internal fight. That will go on everywhere in the world. Don't get involved in that. If it gets to humanitarian purposes, then the whole problem will be relooked. India is indestructible. Please remember that. Our patience and our tolerance should not be taken for granted. But if you start jumping into every equation, then you will be a street fight every day now. It'll get sorted out. Don't worry. That it lasted 53 years is a great blessing. Please understand that in the world of real politics, there are no permanent friends, there are no permanent enemies, there are only permanent interests. If a country's interest is getting made up by money from somewhere else and support from somewhere else, these things will keep changing all the time. That's the history of the world. Nothing beyond that has happened. Have I answered you? Yes or no? Okay. Yep.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Ashutosh Shati. I am from Balaji Institute of Technology and Management. My question is to you regarding the teamwork, right? You have a great experience of war. So what are the key strategies you applied to maintain the coordination between the team?
Good idea. Very good question. Very good question, and I'll want all of you to repeat after me now. Two things. First one, not to be repeated, only to be understood. In the concept of leadership, there is a fictitious notion that one has to always remain in the front. A good leader has three places. Suppose there's a group sitting in front of me. If I am far ahead of them, they can't see me. So I can't give them a vision of tomorrow which they don't understand. So I can't be far ahead of them. If I'm behind them, they don't need me. If I'm always with them, they'll take me for granted. Therefore, in leadership, you have to have a cyclical movement to take place. When are you required? Where? That's not the answer to your question. The answer to your question is the spice of life. And I want all of you to remember spice of life and repeat after me. S stands for selflessness. Repeat. P stands for professionalism. I stands for integrity. C stands for character. Courage. And E stands for, the last E stands for energy. If you have these five things, everybody will follow you, you will follow everybody else, you'll jointly go and get the goal. If you are selfish, you will not be able to lead a team. If you are selfless but without integrity, you will not be able to lead a team. It's a combination of spice of life. What is the spice of life? Selflessness, professionalism, integrity, courage. And I don't have to give you an example. Our founder exemplifies all five qualities. Why would a man coming from that background build up an empire where you people are now challenging the world? You got the answer?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any other question? No ladies first? Yep. Good afternoon. Yep. To me, you're audible. I don't know about the others. Why don't you come here? They can hear you then.
Okay. Hello. Yeah. I'm audible now?
Yeah.
Sir, firstly, I was telling that it's an honor to have you here. So it's an honor to be a part of your session. I'm really glad to, listen to whatever you had to say. So, like coming to the question, I think we all can say it with conviction that Indian Army is fearless. That's a conviction.
No. India is the best. Indian Army is part of it.
Definitely.
We are unbeatable. Not because of me. I would have only saved a goal because of you guys.
Definitely,
A
sir.
Sundar Pichwai coming from one odd college doesn't go and capture the world. Now there are days after days the people are capturing it. No Indian becomes the Prime Minister of UK. No new President of America chooses Indians on FBI. That's what you are. That's your legacy. That's what you are. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, sir, my question was, we as common people, how to overcome fear, how to give up on it?
I don't know what you mean by fear. I'm not understanding. One is fear is physical fear. Physical fear is not something that you can overcome unless there are some other conditions that are applied. But if you're talking of fear of making a mistake, if that's the fear you're talking about. So, I must give you a live example to answer this question. This question was on my mind when I went in 1990 to America to study in the US Army War College course. And we had a Japanese speaker. And he was one of these multinational Japanese companies, I think Mitsubishi or somebody. So one American asked him a question. What do you do? How do you select your workforce? He gave a one-word answer. He said, experience. No answer. Everybody was quite, what does he mean? So some other officer got up and said, so what do you mean by experience? He said, work. No other answer. Again he sat down. Third chap got up. He said, sir, you meant experience and work. What do you mean by experience and work? He says, mistakes. So he said, what do you mean by mistakes? He said, all right, you guys don't understand what I'm talking about. So let me explain to you. The first thing we pick up in an individual when we make him join in our company is the question we ask ourselves, is he capable of making a mistake? If he is not capable of making a mistake, he has no place in my company. Logic. If you are making a mistake of omission and not commission, you are learning. Unless you are learning, you have no experience. Unless you have experience, you cannot lead. So when I was commanding the Western Army, in written instructions I had given to my commanders, I want officers in my command who make 365 mistakes in a year and 366 in a leap year. I want officers to make a new mistake every day and not repeat it. Because if you make only 10 mistakes and repeat them, you have got no potential. Because you are not learning from your mistake. So one way to worry about the fear is, be fearless about making a mistake. If you are unfortunate to come across a man who doesn't accept it, move on. Find somebody else. But don't let that inhibit your thinking. There is not a single person in this world who does not make mistakes. So if that fear you're talking about, if you're getting scared of a tiger, then I can't help you. I don't know, I'm not talking of that fear. Anything else? Anyone? God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your moving and insightful words. Your reflections on the sacrifices, valor, and dedication of our armed forces are a powerful reminder of the values we must uphold as citizens. We are truly honored to have heard your perspective on this significant day. and your words will stay with us as a source of inspiration and pride. May I now invite Dean and Senior Director, Corporate Relations, Sri Balaji University, Pune, Dr. Dimple Seni Ma'am, to felicitate our guest of honor with a token of appreciation. I would now like to invite our student manager, Kumari Sakshi, to extend the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Sri Balaji University, Pune, I, Kumari Sakshi, student manager at Balaji Institute of Technology and Management, extend my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to our honorable guest, Lieutenant General Shamsher Singh Mehta, PVSM, AVSM and Bar VSM retired, for gracing us with your presence today. Sir, under your guidance, your platoon, troops and command have achieved significant milestones, navigated complex challenges and stood resilient in the face of adversity. Your courage and valor during the 1971 Indo-Pak War are a testament to your military leadership. You have lived up to the ethos of Chetwood Credo and Naam Namak Nishan your whole life. Sir, your integrity, humility and unwavering support for your fellow service members have truly set you apart. You have been a mentor, a role model and a source of inspiration to many, leaving an indelible mark on all who have had the honor of working alongside you. We are grateful for your generosity in sharing your time with us today. Your presence has truly enriched our lives, and your words will resonate with us as we contribute to become more responsible Indian citizens. Jai Hind!
Today is a day to rejoice and celebrate, but today is also a day when we must remember those who laid down their lives for our motherland. During the 1971 war, there were a total about 4,000 who laid down their lives, about 10,000 who were injured, and more than 2,000 who went missing. May I request all of you to join me in paying tribute and remembering those who are not there with us, who laid down their lives in 1971 war. For a minute, please keep standing after the signpost, after the last post is over. We'll have Rashtrigan after that. So may I request you to please join me in remembering our martyrs.
करता हूं कि अपने स्थान पर राष्ट्रगान के लिए खड़े हो जाएं।
Thank you all for joining us today. We extend our sincere gratitude to everyone who joined us to commemorate the legacy of Vijay Diwas. Jai Hind.
I would now request everyone to please.
I'm sure when they showed this to you, I hope at least if 10% of what General Sir said, if you take it, you'll be a great success in life. Keep up this thing. It is amazing. BITM, you were superb. Okay, Rajeshwari ma'am, Das sir, Ritika, the entire staff and the faculty members, students of BITM, thank you so much for coordinating. The Department of Defense and Strategic Studies, Mansi, Pratiksha, Arvind sir, and everybody involved, Rajkiran. So thank you so much. And I think General sir left very impressed. And I have to pinch myself कि ये हमारे student हैं क्या? All right, keep up. Thank you. Good. God bless.